I'm the Disability Diva, and thank you for joining us. And yes, you heard right. I said the words clickbait. So, firstly, I would like to just try and work out what exactly it is the NDIS do. Let's take a look. The NDIS is the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and they fund Australians with disabilities and their families. Awesome, I thought. Great, that's exactly what I need. I'm an Australian, I'm struggling with disabilities, and I'm in need of some help. So tell me some more. I was locked in. Now, the purpose of the NDIS is to apparently empower individuals with disabilities to achieve their goals and participate fully in society. Sound too good to be true, right? Anyway, basically, what I've learned is that the NDIS, in my opinion, wastes precious time, wastes vital resources, and are totally unaccountable for their actions in the process. As I said, 2 years. And as I said, my next video I will be presenting will be all about how to be successful with the NDIS. So look out for that one. Now, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think the NDIS basically are just designed to be able to limit the amount of funding by minimising the success rate of applications. So they are the government blocker, so to speak. So they've been purely put in place to manage funding, and specifically disability funding from the federal government, and that is their prime objective. So the tribunal went and did a bit of a deep dive into previous decisions that had been made and what case law had come about, because that I came across was something that was extremely similar to what had occurred in my experience. So there's a little snippet here for you, but it was basically a 20-something-year-old gentleman who had been fighting the NDIS for years as well, and experienced similar lengthy procedural delays, so to speak. But it was because they had lost a lot of his records and replaced incorrect records that were outdated and 10 years old, basically, in their place. And similarly, that's along the same lines as what happened to me, except they I had made 2 separate applications over the process of 2 years. The second application being a 56-page document, and the first application was only like 5 pages because I didn't understand what was needed the very first time, whereas the second application took me 3 months to compile and addressed absolutely every aspect of the criteria that was required. And it wasn't until 6 months down the track, after I'd been denied and appealed and requested reviews of decisions and argued and all the rest of it, I discovered that they'd used the wrong application. They'd actually resubmitted the first application and not the second. The tribunal's hands are tied, basically. They can only preside over the jurisdiction to do with decisions made within the legislation of the NDIS Act. So if it's something to do with administration or an administrative error, they are not interested. And right up until the final hearing that I had last week, they still wouldn't address the fact that the NDIS had completely gotten the wrong application and that the information contained in that application to this day still has not been reviewed by the NDIS. So don't give up on your right to have access to the appropriate disability support services. That's what they want you to do. They want you to give up. They want you to not continue the fight because it's cheaper for them to pay for 5 lawyers than it is to pay for a support package for 2 years for people that need it. So as I said, look out for my follow-up video on how to optimize your success. You can find me on all these social media sites. The links in the description below. I also, please feel free to type any questions you've got in the chat and I'd be happy to answer them. And with that, I bid you adieu and I shall see you next time. Diva out.